Hey, what's going on YouTube? Adam C here. Thanks for watching. So, daily I get questions about this 300-gallon tank behind me. The questions range from the dimensions of the tank, the filtration of the tank, why do I have plants, why do I have backgrounds, why is there snorting during the videos? That is because I always have dogs wandering around. Two of them, one there, another one over there. They're boxers. If you have boxers or any short-nosed breed dog, you know they snort and snore all the time. So there's an answer to a question. But then again, into the filtration, into what type of glass did I have the tank made out of, into how did I have it shipped here. Anything you've ever wanted to know about this 300-gallon, I'm going to go through in this video, as well as a super cool feeding video. Dare I say, an epic feeding video. So I hope you enjoy. So starting on the 300, as I've said before, I'm never alone. Look at these two, Maya, and Lainey. They are my shadows 24/7. So this is a 300-gallon tank. It is an 8-foot long. It is 30 inches front to back, which I'll show you from the side angle and why that's really important for what I wanted to do. And it's only 25 inches tall, also requested by me. They made this custom for me. My previous 220, you know, that thing was over 30 inches. So to clean the bottom of the tank, I'm in there almost, you know, head deep with my arms in there, trying to reach the bottom, and that's not going to happen anymore. I promise you that. So with this being only 25 inches tall, it's a nice deep tank still, but I can still get down in there pretty easily to move anything I want, rearrange decor, vacuum as needed, so on and so forth. We'll start with the fish in the tank. You guys know most of these. I have a male and female Bucochromos lepturus green. Hopefully they breed very soon. There's only a pair, so that's kind of a toss-up, but I do have more coming. When they come, couldn't tell for sure. I have a group of 4 wild Tyrannochromis nigriventer. They have bred in here very successfully. There's the male. There's 2 of the females. The 3rd female. I do have a group of 4 or 5 Malawi trout, 1 male, the rest females. There's obviously the male. He's probably 9 inches by now. Excuse me. You can see the females are sort of hanging around. I do this Chilo tilapia rhodesi, and believe it or not, after how everyone has loved him for so many years in here, he is pending sale. This tank, the purpose of it is to breed 3 different separate species, and he is not going to be one that's breeding in here. He's actually an a-hole to any fish that's trying to breed. The background, the main piece, this is from Universal Rocks. I believe this is the model BFR004. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's correct. I thought it was a nice negotiation between a full background that covers the entire back of the tank, but still gives this a great amount of dimension. So I've done backgrounds before. I did not want to lose, you know, inches on the back of the tank again like I had done previously, when I'm wanting these predator haps to easily get to full size and still have plenty of space. So this is kind of a you know, a nice midway point of that. These rocks, these 2 over here, those are aqua decor, as well as this guy over here. These plants are from elitecichlids.com. Don't forget, I do have a promo code for them. They make custom plants, whatever you want. Adam C, all lowercase, is 10% off. Check them out. And that is a Universal Rocks rock as well. So let's take a side look. Here's a shot from the side. Keep in mind also this is a 30-inch front to back tank. And the big difference in that is if you look at my decor starts about 7 inches from the front of the tank. So if I had gone with the usual 24-inch front to back tank, all that sand that you see in the front where the fish like to hang out all the time, that's gone. The tank would have been cut back to almost this level. So the extra inches when you're doing, you know, predator haps, especially if you're trying to breed them, that extra 6 inches is huge to allow them to turn around and live, you know, as normal of a natural life as they can. It's never a natural life. Fish don't live in glass boxes, but if you're trying to get as close to you can to accommodating what they might be in the wild, that's about as best as you're really going to get. Obviously bigger is better, but for me this is really satisfying for what I'm wanting to do, which is having 3 species Usually no more than about 15 fish, and it's worked out great so far. Another big question, and actually quite a criticism I get on occasion, and I'm all for criticisms, just bring them on, and certainly don't mind it. Everyone's got their own opinion. Is why do I have plants in a predator hap tank? Most predators are pelagic roamers, meaning they're just swimming around in open water. They're not normally in, deep down in plants, anything like this. And the reasoning is, one, they're custom-made plants from elite cichlids, so they're sort of badass to begin with. That's a big plus to start with. If you haven't had plants from elite cichlids, you should try some out. The main reason is, when I'm breeding 3 different species, and the species will be Lepturus green, nigerventer, and Malawi trout, Champsochromis corallius. You can't have multiple males of those fish in each tank, so really all I'm going to have in this tank color-wise is 3 fish that have color. That's going to be it. It's going to be those 2 and that guy. He doesn't have any color yet, but he will. This is a female, so she doesn't have a lot of color. So I'm going to end up with, 75% of these fish being silver with just a very tad bit of color. So the plants really add a nice jolt of color in there to make up for the lack of color in the fish themselves, if that makes sense. With the whole setup being over $3,000, I don't have a blank check to write for this. I have a wife, and, I'm being kept in check. Otherwise, I'd probably live in a fish tank, so it's a good thing. But when you're spending over $3,000 in a fish tank, in my situation, I'm going to look for ways where I can maybe save a few bucks. And I already I already owned 4 Fluval FX6s. Already owned them. They were already cycled. Everything. Those filters, that's over $1,000 worth of canister filters. They've always done a great job for me on any other tank I've had, and they are more than capable of filtering this tank. You can see plenty of water movement all the time. Never run into any dead spots. I apologize for the glare. They really do a great job for the tank. The problem is, and it's my problem to deal with, which I knew, is it is a pain in the ass to get these out of here and perform maintenance on them. It just is. You don't have huge openings in any stand, not just this stand, but any stand. And taking each one out roughly every 3 months, it's a bit of a pain. But as opposed to spending an extra $1,000 on a sump, I just decided to roll with what I got here, and I can always drill this later if need be. And lastly, to cover the very small things before we get into the feeding, which is coming very soon, is just the lighting. A lot of people want to know. This is a 72-inch LED light made by Beamswork. Got this on Amazon.com probably 5 or 6 years ago for $180. Might even be cheaper now. Someone got fired up. My heaters. I like the Fluval 300-watt digital heaters just because I can see the exact temperature as opposed to guess and getting knobs stuck and assuming that I've got it set on 82, but really it's 92 because that's happened to me. And I have 2 in this tank. And yes, even just 2 300-watt heaters keep this 300-gallon perfectly warm. This is in my finished basement, so this is a completely controlled environment. Never have a problem holding this tank at 79, 80 degrees. So let's get into the feeding. To add to the feeding excitement, I'm going to add some Northfin 6mm, the jumbo fish stuff in here. You can see here, pretty big. So now we've got a stew of protein-rich foods for these haps. I've turned off all the filters, any power heads at all, so this doesn't get sucked up and lost. Just gonna hang out until they get all of it. So let's do it. Let's feed this soup. And I guess got drenched.